Tamara, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Would you like to share your story? Why are you here today?
Yes, sure. So, yes, first of all, wanted to thank everybody who had time to join today's webinar because, of course, I know it is really important for us to, give time to someone, and time is very valuable. So, thank you for giving your time to me today and being here to listen to my thoughts on personal branding and how I got hired in Finland. So yeah, maybe to come back to your question, Lidiia. So I am originally from St. Petersburg, Russia. I was born and raised there. Just for reference, St. Petersburg is only like about 400, maybe 500 kilometers away from where we are right now in, well, I am in Espoo, so yeah, so where me and Lidiia are in today. So not so far not so far away, but of course culturally, historically, these are very different countries, though climate is the same. So when I moved to Finland, I didn't have to adjust to this new climate, and when people complain about it, I say, imagine living like this your whole life and not enjoying it. So yes, but nevertheless, let's move on to me actually moving to Finland. So I moved to Finland in 2020, 5 years ago now. So I moved because of a program that's called European Solidarity Corps. It's a EU-funded volunteering program, and I'm not sure how it works now. I know for sure that they no longer work with Russia. Back in the day when I found that program, they worked with Russia, and the Finnish Association for Nature Conservation had a project called Eco Energy. It's a living and breathing project, which I support to this day. And they were looking for a Russian-speaking volunteer, and they wanted to provide an opportunity for a volunteer from a Russian-speaking country to live for 1 year in Finland and to work for them. They work in the sustainable energy market. I'm not sure how familiar you guys in the audience with sustainable energy, but when I found this project, I had no clue about sustainability and sustainable energy. I was always interested about it, but I never really knew what are, IREC certifications and what is the difference between renewable and sustainable energy, etc. So there were lots of nuances that I learned already on the job, and I was selected out of about 150 applicants and got this volunteering opportunity. So I lived here for 1 year and thought, okay, this is a great opportunity and I can reunite with my boyfriend at a time who's from Great Britain. He can come here, we can live here together. And, after that, I will probably go to live with him in Britain. And I was saying to everybody that, Finland is nice. I've been here many, many times before. It's a bit boring for me. I'm from a city that has 5 million people. So imagine moving to a country that has about the same amount of people. So yeah, it's definitely funny now to remember because here I am 5 years later. So after this 1 year project, I actually decided to stay here with my boyfriend. We got married. Now we live together here. We have nothing to do with Finland. We're not from Finland, but we both decided to live here because we just like the country. We like its values and a lot of things about Finland. So that's why we are here today. So here's how here's kind of now 5 years later, here I am in this webinar and ready to share a little bit more about my story from start to finish.
Thank you, Tamara. A funny joke for everyone. I moved to Finland from Moscow, and in Moscow, when Moscovites think about St. Petersburg people, they think it's completely boring. It's impossible there. Things are so slow. And imagine me
Really?
moving from Moscow to Finland. Yeah, there are jokes
Yeah.
about uh, St. Petersburg culture as well.
Yes, there is this rivalry, like in most countries, in most big countries with big cities, there is always this rivalry between two biggest cities of the country. So there is this like Moscow versus St. Petersburg thing. And yes, in St. Petersburg also people say that, oh, Moscow is too fast, there are too many people, because in Moscow alone, at least last time, you know, when I was in Moscow, there were 11 million people. Right? So how many are there now? Do you know, Lidiia?
Unofficially, when I lived there, it was around 20 million people.
Oh, wow.
Of course,
Okay.
it's unofficially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to our topic, uh, what happened when your project ended? How did you
Yes.
then find your first job in Finland?
Yes, when my project ended, it just so happened that my husband already, when we got married, he got a job at a company called Intel. I'm sure you know this big company, and they have an office here in Finland. He got a job, so we decided to stay, and I was unemployed. It was also 2021, so right after COVID. And I was completely unaware because, of course, I was planning to stay here for only 1 year. So I was unaware of the current job market. I didn't have a LinkedIn profile back in the day. I didn't know that LinkedIn existed because in my country it's banned. So I didn't know about LinkedIn. It was actually my husband who told me about this platform that you can network there and, you know, have your personal, like professional profile. I thought it also worked a little bit like other job hunting sites. So yeah, I was starting completely from scratch, and I'm also quite young, so I also just haven't had a lot of like life experience, work experience back in the day. So yeah, I was kind of lost when I found myself in Finland without anything like to do. And how I found my first job, it was actually through studying. So I decided I was slowly kind of going crazy because, you know, I spent about a year doing, you know, projects here and there. And I realized that I need something offline. I need to start integrating because I live here now. I need to accept that. I need to start learning Finnish. I need to integrate into this society. And now in this like digital world, I was really thinking, okay, how can I do it? Because, you know, everything's online. And okay, yes, there is this LinkedIn thing that I don't know about. So, you know, I made my profile then and had like, I don't know, 100 connections. And it was completely like, you know, I was lost. So I was like, okay, what is like the number one best way to integrate into the society? I thought, okay, I'll go learn Finnish. I'll go to this one of these free Finnish schools courses for unemployed people, and I will try to learn the language. So I didn't do that kind of intense course that they have where you learn from beginning of the day till the evening, but I did this like, you know, on Ilmanet in Helsinki area. I'm sure you know this a site where you can find some courses. So I found one. And then I was like, you know what? I really like studying. I like being back in the classroom. I like this dynamic that we have, you know, that I can talk to real people offline. This is post-COVID, so I spend a lot of time online. So to me, it was really good to be back into this non-digital space. And I decided, you know, I will go to study because I really need to I have a non-European degree from Russia. So at least my impression back in the day was like, that is not going to help me at all to get a job here in Finland. So I really need to start studying for a European degree. And as my residence permit allowed, and it was free for me, I decided, okay, why not? Finland has this amazing opportunity. So I've decided to start studying. And even before I started studying in Haaga-Helia, where I'm still there, I'm still trying to graduate, doing now much less than when I've just started, when I didn't have a job. I found this project called Access Helsinki, and I didn't know what it was. I saw that it's an entrepreneurship society, and I was thinking, okay, this is a bit, you know, it is very very foreign concept for me. And later, when I've started, I actually went to one of their events. I really liked it. It was a pitching competition, and we decided that because my husband has a technical background in education and work experience, so we decided to pitch a project there that he had in his mind. I helped him to pitch because, of course, I do public speaking and I love it and I know different tips and tricks. So I coached him and he went on stage. He actually won that competition. I remember it was called Pitch and Beer. So yes, we had this event together with Laurea Entrepreneurship Society. So yes, so then I started going to these events again to, you know, get to know people. And also I was interested in studying in Haaga-Helia. So I knew that I should probably, you know, get to know some people before I even start studying. And I approached the, back in the day, that was the, what is it called? The executive director of this Access Helsinki organization. I approached her, so I was very proactive. I am still very proactive. And back then I had to kind of, you know, come out of my comfort zone, come out of my shell and actually go and speak to her. And she said, yeah, we are soon going to be electing the new board. And this year's board, you know, is going to, some people are leaving. So would you like to join? I was like, yeah, I would definitely love to join and explore different opportunities. And then fast forward a few months after that, I became the head of events of Access Helsinki. That was my first job in Finland. And I started organizing events for them. I started studying at the same time, so it was perfect. I spent a lot of time in the Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences building because, you know, I was studying first in the afternoon and then later I would go to our access corner and we would work there and organize different events. And with that, I found so many people, so many amazing people who I got to work with. Also a lot of young people. In my study group, because I went to study for a second bachelor's, I decided not even wait for a master's degree, like application time. So I decided, okay, I'll just do this second bachelor's. And yes, there were a lot of people who were younger than me, but of course also people my age and older. So I kind of instantly like integrated into this international society, and actually organizing event really helped me because I had to, as a host of the event, I couldn't just, you know, hide and say, okay, I don't want to talk to anyone. I kind of, it was a part of my responsibility that I had to go and speak and engage with all of the participants of this Access Helsinki. And that also encouraged me to start posting more on LinkedIn because we wanted to promote our work and what we do. So that was a great also nudge from this, you know, from this situation. It was a great nudge for me to start posting, to get myself out there. And yes, this was my first experience in Finland.
Wow. Basically, networking helped you to get your first job.
Yes, basically that was the case because, but not, of course, networking in this classic kind of, you know, you get to know someone and then, but it was more like, you know, I would say even more than networking, it was more this, how to say this, nudge from myself, or how to say, like this openness to know, to get to know people, because I was really open to you know, when I approached the executive director back then, I didn't think, okay, she will get me a job. You know, I had no idea that they would even have this board system. As you know, I wasn't familiar with the Finnish kind of rules, and I didn't even know about this board system back then. But it was simply because I just wanted to connect with her and find out, like, you know, what she does. And I wanted to complement also their events. So yes, in a way it's networking, but also more than that, it's this kind of being brave and not to be afraid of people and actually go and speak. And yeah, that really kind of changed everything for me.
Um, you mentioned Finnish as a language. Did it help you at any point to get a job? And I'm laughing a little bit because you started with
Yes,
speaking, and then I felt like maybe you were just working in English after that.
yes, yes. I only studied, so when I got the job, I only studied Finnish for about 7 months, maybe. So as you know, that Finnish is extremely hard. So unfortunately, I didn't speak Finnish when I started, and I still don't speak fluent Finnish whatsoever. That's why, yes, I can say confidently that speaking Finnish absolutely didn't help because my level was never enough to get a job here. So I only spoke English and when networking and also when, but of course now, maybe a few people who saw my post, they know that now I'm preparing for UKI exam. This is for level B1. So right now I'm in the process of actually learning the language, and I'm not. I maybe we can think in a few years time I will watch this recording or hear this recording and be like, oh, Tamara, you didn't believe in yourself. But I don't believe that I will ever be fluent in Finnish, simply as that. But I do believe that Finnish in any way, it will really help to integrate even if you speak just a little bit, because language as a concept is one of the tools that unites people. And even sometimes at work now, I throw Finnish phrases here and there, and it already sort of breaks the ice. People smile, they understand that, I'm kind of trying to say something. So it is a very good tool, and it's also very good for your own self-development and especially learning Finnish because it's so hard. I think I'm not going to be struggling with dementia anytime soon or or Alzheimer's, because now my brain is just like so flexible with learning so many, foreign concepts and words and, everything. So yeah, I couldn't say that Finnish really helped me, but of course it is a very important part with integration into the Finnish society, even in 2025. So yeah.
Coming even closer to the topic for today, um, every not everyone, but many people talk about networking and personal branding in Finland, and it's one of my favorite topics as well. But if you're just connected to this session that we have and you're just wondering what the hell is personal branding and why everyone is talking about it in Finland, what would you say?
Yes, so we can start with the saying that also, Lidiia, I think you like that Finland is a village. So I remember you also said it in one of the workshops, and I also heard this saying before. So what it means, it's not in any offensive way or anything. It just means that there are only 5 million people. Today in the world, we have, about how many we have, like 3-4 billion now. So we have, if you compare the numbers, Finland is a very small society. And here, still to this day, everyone knows everyone. And that's why personal branding is so important. Because believe it or not, you have already your personal brand. It doesn't matter who you are, even if you don't have a LinkedIn account, or even if you have no social media, it means personal branding doesn't just mean that. Personal branding is everything. It is what people say behind closed doors. This is what people say when you're not around. When they say your name, what do they think? When they say your name to the other person, what does this other person think? Is it that, okay, she's like annoying and she's not very pleasant to work with or talk to, or is it like he is very ambitious, he's inspiring? You know what I mean? So everyone has personal brand. In Finland, especially because we are all kind of united through other people, and maybe everybody here in this particular webinar, if you live in Finland, there is a chance that we probably know somebody, we have a common friend, or we know a person who knows both of us. This is how small this country is. And I think that's why personal branding is so important, because, we all know each other, we talk about each other. So if there is, and if we put it in the job context, then if there is a need for a professional, are you the kind of person who comes in mind? So for example, if you work in sales, are you the person who will be on the person's mind that like, oh, I wonder if this person would be available for a chat to talk about this opportunity, or are you not? So that's why I think personal branding is so important in Finland, because you might actually, with a strong personal brand, you might be the first name that comes into mind when there is an opportunity, not necessarily just a job, but other opportunities as well.
So funny you mentioned that there is always someone who we both know. I had the lunch lunch date today with a person I have never met, and they're saying, "Hey, I worked for this company and I had a very good manager. By the way, I think you know him." And he's naming a person whom I know quite well. I just had no idea that this person was working for that company. So it is
Yeah,
true,
it is
definitely
absolutely
true.
true.
And how did you build your personal brand in Finland? What did you do exactly?
I would say that what I did is I didn't do anything extraordinary. I think a lot of people, when they hear about personal branding or treating yourself as a product or something like that, they think that only people with background in marketing and some super, super trained people know what it is and how it's done. Actually, for me, the path was fairly simple, and that's why I am encouraging so many people around me and also online and in my workshops to start posting on LinkedIn, start talking to people, because it's just as simple as that. The bar is quite low because, not so many people are, for example, active on LinkedIn. Not so many people are out there ready to share their stories in a public setting or speak publicly. So if we think of it as a market where we need to present and position ourselves as a product, the market is pretty free. So you have a very good chance, a very strong chance to position yourself in the market and become kind of a desirable product. But that's my marketing background speaking for me right now. How I've started is that, first of all, like I said, I talk to people, and I talk to people a lot. And I went to events. The easiest way to get to know people, doesn't matter where, it's to just go to the same place many times. So if you want to find a friend or if you want to find a job, try going to the same place many times, same events organized by the same kind of organization, or same tennis club that you were thinking, oh, should I join, should I not? If you want to get to know people, go to that tennis club. And slowly but surely, or any other, like, knitting club, reading club, whatever. Or maybe in your workplace. I know there's, for example, Finland Young Professional Organization. So it's in most big companies, there is this organization, like we have Kone and Konecranes Young Professionals. This is where young people have events, we meet, we go out together. And if you go to these events many times, you will slowly find yourself like surrounded by the same 15 people, and they will slowly become your friends because you spend a lot of time together. And this is exactly what I did. I started organizing events, like I said, and naturally I went to all of these events. And so I spent about a year going to events at least once a month, organized by Access Helsinki. And of course, there were the same people and a lot of new people. So I was kind of talking and networking with a lot of them. That really helped me to start. And then the second thing is actually start posting on LinkedIn. I always say the key to success, you can just start posting on LinkedIn, post once a week, and you'll be good. You'll already be so above average because so many people actually are too shy, or they don't believe on LinkedIn that it works. But I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today, and I wouldn't be sitting right here and talking to Lidiia today if once in like 2022, I didn't decide to just start posting about my experiences and what I do and just what events I go to, even before I became the, head of events at Access Helsinki. So yeah, these are kind of the two paths that I see that are the easiest to start with. Post and be more visible, and also be more visible offline at events, and also by networking. So by networking, I mean simply talking to people, getting to know different people in different places.
I will increase the difficulty for you because I do work with job seekers every single
Yes.
day. And what I hear when I talk about LinkedIn and writing on LinkedIn, but I'm looking for a job, what can I write about? And how do I
Yes.
even start when it feels so scary?
Yes. I talk also to these people a lot. Actually, when I started posting on LinkedIn, I would never think that one day a big topic that I raise on my LinkedIn profile, and a lot of my audience will be actually fellow internationals who are either switching jobs or thinking of switching jobs, or they're moving to Finland, or they've already moved to Finland and they're looking for a job. So everything about kind of job and job seeking is a big part of also what I do on the side, apart from my day job now. So what I can say to these people, first of all, and we've already also a little bit talked about it with Lidiia, and Lidiia is usually very kind of nice about it, and she's saying, yes, well, if you feel comfortable, and I have a little bit of my take on that. So the reality is, right now we are in this very difficult market. And I know that some people are saying, yeah, it's actually not that bad, and stuff like that. It's quite bad. And I talk about it with my colleagues. I talk about it with people in a more informal setting. And us internationals, we are scared. We are scared of some new legislation, especially that 3 months rule that's been introduced recently for those who have a residence permit based on work. So yes, we are scared, and there are two paths. There is one path to give it your all and to try to do everything in your power, or there is another path to sit and wait. And I'm not the person who's going to tell you what to do. My personal path that I chose was to do everything in my power to get a job in Finland, to get a permanent job in Finland. That was my big goal. And as you probably all know, I no longer work at Access Helsinki. So I worked there for 1 year. And after that, I very quickly, considering now how long it takes to get a job, I very quickly found a job, and I work at Kone via academic work. So, and I still work there now, 2 years later, basically. So what does it mean, trying and giving your all? You have to be better than others. You have to do things that other people are not doing, because there is this huge mass of people. Imagine, like, they all have similar background as you. They all have sort of this desire, but what will be different about them? Some people are going to really try and, network, talk to the right people. Some people are also going to do it, but they will be less successful. Some people are not going to do it and not even try because they're too scared. And some people are going to, just go back to, or move to another country. So naturally, the people you're against of you're against to are going to be, the scope will be smaller and smaller and smaller until you're in that scope where you stand out. And this is what's important. You can stand out differently. You can stand out either by building a very strong personal brand. That is definitely like number one kind of success, so key to success. There is also another way is you can become really good at what you're doing, and you can also become a very rare specialists that, for example, right now I'm involved in this Microsoft Power Platform technology promotion, and I see that there's huge potential. I see that there are a lot of companies who are interested in Power Platform and adopting Power Platform technology, Microsoft Power Platform technologies. So if I spend a lot of time and effort in training myself, it will be definitely easier for me to find a job in because I now spotted this opportunity that and this kind of area that not many people have noticed yet, but I think they will start noticing it quite soon. So there's another tip for you. You can also check that out, for example. Or you can, for example, if you work in creative industry, think, okay, where is there this little gap? Where can I position myself? What are the unique qualities that I have that make me stand out? And every single person that is joining us today or listening to this afterwards, every single person has something unique about them, something that will stand out about them that will help them get a job here. It is important to just evaluate these skills. Think about what you know, what others don't know, what is going to make you stand out, and keep pushing kind of in that direction. And also just try and try many times. You will face failure. And I also received multiple rejection letters, and it's okay. We need to get used to rejection. We just need to keep going, keep trying, and surround ourselves with people who believe in us and encourage us rather than drag us down. If there are no such people around you, then don't talk to those people who try to stop you or drag you down. Talk to people like me, like Lidiia, like people also on social media who are inspiring, because this is the way forward. So yeah, I would say that this is the like very important message that I would like to let everybody know of, that, you know, it is possible. Don't be afraid. Keep pushing. Think of it. How do you stand out? What is this unique path that you will have? There is no one single path that everybody can follow and then everybody will get a job. You need to pave your own way as you walk towards your dream job. Yes, so that's my take on that.
It's really inspiring. Thank you a lot for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
I would also like to give a chance for everyone listening now
Yeah.
to ask their questions. As I said, you can unmute yourself and ask, then you will be in a video, or you can write in the chat and we will read it.
Yes, I'm also very interested about your opinions on that and your kind of your take and your questions, and I'm very happy to answer your questions if you have any today here.
Hi, this is Adil Samdani.
Hello.
Yeah, actually, I am a potential resident of Finland. My wife got a residence permit for completing a master's in biomedical engineering. So most probably might be possible in a couple of months' time we'll be traveling to Finland. So my core expertise are in supply chain management, end-to-end procure to pay cycles, and you can say that supply chain planning and demand planning. So how can I integrate myself in that market to leverage the same expertise that I have at the moment? So I've just had this kind of question. And I also have an experience of 15 and a half years in the same field. And currently I'm based in Saudi Arabia. So that's the
Okay,
question
yes.
from it.
Yeah, great to know you, and thank you for sharing your story and for asking this question. I would say number one thing that rather than to tell you what to do, I would tell you a few things what not to do, what a lot of people like you are doing, and that doesn't work. First of all, this is again my personal opinion, disclosure. This is absolutely not like any kind of official guidelines, and because, for example, now I have a few thousands followers on LinkedIn, and a lot of people just reach out to me. They write to me like, "Hi, Tamara, my name is XYZ, and I am doing this. What tips can you give me?" Okay. So, or tips are fine. I can give tips, but if they start asking for a job, for example, that is definitely a no-no. And I'm not meaning this like, okay, never ask for a job or something like that. My number one rule would be to not contact random people who you don't know, who you've never spoken to, even online or in real life, asking for a job. This is not how it works in Finland. I don't know if it works anywhere else. At least in Finland, it doesn't work. Also, don't send a message like, I would like to invite you for like, let's call on Google for like on Google Meet for 5 minutes. I know that's what a lot of people do. Actually, like I think what a lot of people don't realize is how many messages like that a lot of people receive who have some audience on LinkedIn. So especially when it's not in my field. If it would be something like in comms or change management or something like that, then okay, maybe I would agree for that. But there's the question, why should I spend my personal time that I don't have a lot of time at all? I have so many things right now going on in my life. Why should I talk to you? And this is absolutely your responsibility to kind of make the person understand why you and what this other person will get from it. You know what I'm saying? So what is it that you actually can do? I would say that you can, first of all, start looking for companies that you would be interested in. So something with your background where you already worked. Maybe if you worked in some international company, like let's say you worked in Nokia, or okay, maybe Nokia is too Finnish. Let's say you worked at Intel even, for example. It's just a random example. So you worked at Intel. Look for Intel office. Does it exist here in Finland? Can you possibly go to work at the same company, but in a different office? This is one question. Then also think of similar to the competitors of the companies where you worked in and try to see there. Are there maybe any jobs open? I think in supply chain, this market, from at least what I've seen, it's okay. It's not like marketing, for example, where it's extremely hard. I think in supply chain, it's possible to find a job, and it's you don't need to have like super strong personal branding and 3,000 followers to just get a job. No, I wouldn't say so. Monitor the companies. And also, number one rule that I would say, even after you've kind of looked at the companies, looked at what kind of jobs maybe they already have on their site, once you arrive here, go to a local like CV clinic. There is a good CV clinic that I always recommend by International House Helsinki. It's free to get an opinion, or better to go to multiple companies, like get hired in Finland also, or talk to different people about your CV and cover letter and ask what they think about it, so that you understand what is required in the local market. Because in Russia, the CV format and what to say to what not to say is different to, for example, Finland. And I also understand that in some countries, having like a 3-page long CV is good, and it shows that you're a very experienced professional. In Finland, for example, it's too much, because a lot of people still look at CVs manually. And they receive like hundreds and hundreds of CVs, so they simply don't have any time to, look at a document that has way too much text. So have a local who knows the job market here a little bit, at least, to kind of understand, okay, this works, this doesn't work, and give you guidance on that. And then you can start applying for these jobs. You can go to events, maybe also get to know some people through your wife, because she will be, studying here. So maybe also you can kind of navigate your networking like that, and give yourself time. It's not going to be instant that, you just arrive and suddenly jobs will come. Unfortunately, right now, the market is very, very challenging. So you need to be up for a challenge, mentally prepared. And then I'm sure that you will succeed and find a job here.
Amazing answer. Thank you a lot, Tamara. Another
Thank
thing
you.
someone wrote, can you tell again about how to stand out?
Yes. Sure. How to stand out? That's a good question. In Finland, there isn't so much diversity, and I mean it not in the, I mean not in the, you know, even I would say it even not just, you know, people, but I would say that even kind of same kind of people come to Finland with same sort of background. I meet a lot of people who even talk the same. I don't know if it's just me, maybe I'm just around the same kind of circles. That's why, for example, I work as a mentor at like Think Africa. So I go there and there are so many different people from different walks of life, and like it's much more diverse there, and I really like it. That's why kind of I, you know, push myself to these sort of new experiences. But I think a lot of people who come to Finland and who are actually able to stay here, they're very much the same, and they have a lot in common. So to stand out is actually quite simple, I must say. Like I said, if you start posting once a week on LinkedIn, you will already stand out from a lot of people who don't. So that's number one thing. Then you can think of your unique style. Let's say on LinkedIn, you can think of what is the message that you would like to convey? What is kind of the look and feel of your LinkedIn profile? Because your LinkedIn profile is like your personal site. You can change the banner there and have it in a certain color. You can have a photo there that will look different. You know, for example, depending where you work and what you do, you can wear very like bright blazer and already you will stand out a little bit because, you know, some people have just, you know, wear a black blazer on in their LinkedIn profile picture and things like that. You know, they don't need to be super different, but they can be quite subtle. The topics that you communicate on your LinkedIn profile, for example, think of what is nobody talking about, like, and what do you think? Maybe you have your own, and I'm sure you have your own unique perspective on something, and you are absolutely free to communicate it. For example, a lot of people now talk about that, okay, AI will steal our jobs and things like that. And you, to stand out, you can write, I don't think AI can steal my job. And that will instantly attract attention, and that will instantly make you stand out. When you talk to people also, you don't need to be different. Just be very nice and kind, and remember that kindness always comes first. And this is something that doesn't cost any money. It's completely free to be kind, but you know, to be curious, to genuinely wanting to connect with people, that will also make you stand out in a very positive way. So I would recommend to start with these basics, and then you can build on and think, okay, how can I further improve my personal branding? What can I do what others are not doing? Slowly but surely you'll find your way.
How do you balance posting on LinkedIn between professional posts and personal posts? Particularly when personal posts always do well, but professional posts usually show expertise.
I also have the same on my LinkedIn, that more personal posts and personal stories, they perform better than professional posts. And that's okay. It is what it is. We all connect to personal stories, and we connect with people much better than we connect with brands, right? So that's why also, for example, when a company posts something, don't just post about, okay, this is the company we acquired, this is how much money we made, because people genuinely, they don't really care about that stuff. On social media, people care about other people. That's the big one. But still, professional posts are important, and there is an audience for that as well. So I wouldn't say focus only on like your personal stories, but think of it in a storytelling perspective. How can you, even, for example, I went to this event recently, and it was a very cool event. It's actually my latest post, so check it out on my LinkedIn. So it was a very cool event, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't want to just write like a classic LinkedIn post. Hello, I went to this event. It was very nice. Here are some pictures. I took it in a bit of a different way, and I wrote something educational for my audience, the three things that I think stood out to me. And now when people organize more and more offline events, I think these things are actually very important to know for anyone who organizes offline events. And maybe that might inspire others to implement those things in their practices. But of course, that post still was very professional, and it didn't cater everyone, because not everybody organizes events. So it didn't, I wouldn't say it performed extremely well compared to some of my other stories, and that's all of my other personal stories when I share them. But that's completely okay. So I think there should be this balance. There should be at least, some amount, like 20, like depends on your field as well. But if you want to build this expertise and become a trustworthy expert in your field, then you have to post these personal posts, or these professional posts, sorry, and less maybe personal, to showcase your expertise. So yeah, just post them and don't worry about them. And think of how can you post professional posts also in a storytelling way, in a very engaging way, through personal, stories. That also works. I see there's somebody who wanted to, who raised their hand.
Hi. I had
Hello.
a thank you for answering the question, but I also had maybe a more basic follow-up question, which is
Yes.
how do you evaluate what is your personal brand? So I heard what you said about reputation, and did you evaluate your personal brand by asking your colleagues or your friends, or how do you know what your brand even is? Because I think you should know what that is maybe before you try and continue shaping it. So how did you figure it
Yes.
out?
Yes, this is actually a very perfect question, and I think it was missing in our today's discussion. And I have even some notes that I wanted to share, so thank you for that. Buckle up, I have some notes, so it will take a second. But first of all, when you think of your personal branding, and again, remember that I'm this kind of advanced personal brander, meaning that I come from communications and marketing. So I didn't have to study personal branding on its own. I studied branding of products. So I treat myself and my kind of what others see as a brand, as a so as a product, if you may. So if I don't, I still want to answer a question or two, so I will try to be short. First of all, before you, if you really want to work on your personal brand, you need to figure out your goal, why you're doing it. This is very, very important. For example, you can say, I want to find a job in Finland, or I want to find a better job in Finland. Or if you have personal business, then you can say, I want to drive customers to my business. I want to promote my services, or I want to promote my products. Then you need to think, what do you want to be known for? So is it that you are, and it doesn't matter now, LinkedIn or other platform, it can be anything. This is applicable. This is a very universal rule for anyone. So I am like, if you think of me and if you've seen my posts, you probably don't think of me, oh, she's a change manager in Kone. I don't think this is what you instantly think, right? So it's not your job title. Your job title can be actually anything. But what do you want to be known for? And this is now answering your question. I did ask people like either friends or colleagues or anybody like mentees who came to me asking for support. And I did ask sometimes, like, for example, what do you think about my LinkedIn profile? What do you think of me? And it's very interesting to hear their background. And it's totally normal to ask these questions. And it's a very interesting exercise. So what I've heard, because I was too worried that I positioned myself too much as like I help internationals find a job. I'm not an HR specialist, or I don't have this background. So I really needed to identify, what do I actually want to be known for? And I knew what I didn't want to be known for. So that's one thing. And then another advice is to know your audience. This is also very important, because you need to understand, okay, for example, who do you, let's say you want to find a job in Finland in supply chain, like there was this other question, then your audience is actually not going to be unemployed people in Finland, because they're not going to help you to figure out to go closer to your goal. Your audience should be people in supply chain. So what is it that you will be communicating in your social media that will make other people from supply chain follow you? So here's a lot of thinking coming. So you really need to think, who can actually benefit from my expertise and my skills? Do I want HR managers to follow me? Do I want leaders to follow me? For example, if I had one case of a leadership coach who asked for my mentoring, and we were ideating, okay, how can she reach out to to leaders, and how can she grow that audience? So it really boils down to that. And then as a pro tip here is to make a mission statement. So you decide what your personal brand is. And to formulate it is to make this mission statement, which will have who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and the transformation that you create. So these 4 questions would be very valuable for you to also understand what is this your personal branding. You are the person who decides that. Then you try things and then you get feedback. And if you understand, okay, from the feedback, I understand that I'm doing something wrong. Think of what you do wrong, and always continue developing and growing your personal brand. So that was that answer.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question, and we often prioritize the ones who raise hands. Please go on, Akshay.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the offer. So I just want to ask a question that you told that like you should not message in LinkedIn saying that, hey, do you have time for me to like have a chat for 5 minutes or something? Like the other person also should get something from it. So
Yes.
as a person, like what you are looking for in this kind of chat, like from my point of view, I'll be looking for some tips, but from your point of view, from a person like us, what you're looking for, like what makes you
Yes.
interest?
Very, very good question. And this is the question that we should always be asking ourselves. What is this that I can give in exchange for what I get? Because when people reach out to me, I get a lot of this impression that people just want to get, but they don't want anything to give anything. And it doesn't need to be money or, something materialistic. I don't know you, Akshay, so I'm not sure what you could give me, for example. So, but it is for you to think, what is it that I have that that person might be interested in? It can be super simple. It can be like, coffee's on me or something like that. Or you can think, okay, Tamara and Lidiia are going to have this webinar. So I'm going to come to her webinar, ask this question. So she's automatically more likely to answer my question and to call with me because, I already had this first interaction. It doesn't need to be just through LinkedIn. It can be that we meet at an event or we, at least I know you personally. But yeah, so it can be anything simple from attending an event that this person is organizing or this person is attending to saying like, hey, coffee's on me, so I'll be, super grateful for your time, or saying like, hey, how can I actually help you? I do this, and that. I can take pictures of you. I can take videos of you, for example, if this is something you do like in creative field, or I can share this and that with you. There's always something that we can give to another person. So just think of it. What is it that you can give others?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have 2 minutes left, maybe even 1.5. Jitin, if it's a very quick question, and Tamara, if you can answer shortly.
Yes, I
That would
will
be
try.
very-
We can continue
I have a
later on
very short
LinkedIn.
question.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Actually, I'm a teacher in India. I
Yes.
have more than 5 years of experience, but I know to become a teacher in Finland directly is not possible. It's a very lengthy process there. So I'm sending application in entry level roles in the for the last few months, like a warehouse worker, production worker, and administrative roles. So should I continue this process?
Yes, good question. Okay, I'm going to say very quickly because, and it's not a very quick question, but my quick answer would be entry-level jobs are the hardest to get because there is the largest number of people are applying for these roles, people from all walks of life. So I've had this situation with one of my mentees that they were fired from a cleaning job. And I said, and they were very upset about it. And I said, you know what? I think I would be I would be fired from a cleaning job because I suck at cleaning, honestly. We are not meant to do all of these kind of jobs. We are trained to do different things. So if you're a teacher, I would highly recommend to start thinking maybe of doing something of your own, teaching people not formally at school, but what are these things that you can teach, or maybe be a private tutor, because we already, if we have a career, we have a career chosen kind of for us, we know what we like doing, what we are strong, what our strong qualities are, then maybe this is what we should do. But we need to think of the format. And I'm sure that with a strong personal branding, with posting on LinkedIn, you can think, okay, how can I teach maybe not kids, but adults in a more private way? That would be my number one recommendation. But we can talk more on LinkedIn if you want to continue this discussion. So reach out to me and I will answer.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara, a lot. I love to listen to you. I just realized that
Thank you.
yeah, my favorite people are the ones who are very clear-minded. This is my biggest quality in a person, and you fit like 100% in
Oh,
this.
thank you so much. I hope I wasn't too harsh. If anything, I didn't mean to be that harsh, but I do want to have this reality check so you guys are not, disappointed when you face some of these realities that I have faced. But the realities I faced, it was my personal experience and my personal take on it. You can disagree, and this is the beauty of these discussions, that we all have different experiences. So I would be super happy to hear yours. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, and if you didn't agree with something, let me know. I would be very happy to have this conversation with you.